which is basically a master of stealth and subterfuge. They have special training in disarming traps and picking locks, sneaking, hiding, picking pockets, spotting traps, and using or identifying magic items. Because of special expertise, a thief enjoys a -4 adjustment to the die when performing acrobatics, and in relation to all social interaction. A thief enjoys a -8 adjustment to the die when climbing, because they're very well trained for that. Can never suffer a more positive adjustment to the die when climbing than +8, and can even attempt to climb where it is impossible to climb for others. If able to attack with surprise in melee because of their special knowledge about humanoid anatomy, they gain their own level. They can add their own level to the damage they deliver to the target. But only if they use the weapons that can be used for that. A thief gains +1 hit points per level and has some pretty good potential for ability score adjustments. At level 12, he attracts a number of thief followers equal to 1/4 of his charisma. So he too can gain followers, to create a thief's guild or something like that later on. The warrior is probably the most popular character role, but yet the character role with the least info, because a warrior is basically just a human, male, or, more rarely, a female, trained for war on land, on sea, or on horseback, or rather, and on horseback. Because of special training, a warrior enjoys a -4 adjustment to the die when riding and sailing. Because think of the warriors in Thule as Vikings. The warrior, just like the dwarf, gains +3 hit points per level. And unlike the dwarf, can level up to level 15. So a human warrior can potentially be a bit more tough than a dwarf. They have also a better potential for ability score adjustments. And women, that's a footnote, rather an asterisk, women can become warriors too, but they need to work a lot harder than men to achieve this. So to level up, a female warrior needs twice the amount of XP listed here. And a female warrior is instead called a Valkyrie. So women can be warriors too, but they can only level up to level 14, because they only have they cannot have more than 16 strength, and they need more XP. So it's more difficult for them. So you have the sorcerer, for example, in the bard and sorcerer role, the women have an advantage. In the warrior character role, they have a disadvantage. Adjustments for combat. You see here, the ranger and the warrior have the best adjustments. They have the best attack rate, the best offensive value bonus, the best defensive value, the best throw range adjustment. And the bard, sorcerer and thief are not that good for fighting. Weapon, armor and restrictions. I mentioned this briefly in relation to the bard and the sorcerer, but as you can tell, all the different classes have restrictions. What they can use and cannot use. Some because of their size, others because it doesn't make sense for them to use it. But in relation to restrictions, if a character for some reason is able and has to use other weapons or armor than those allowed for his character role, once he does so, he will not gain the... he will suffer a +1 adjustment to the die when he tries to do something he has special training in. Like if a thief tries to sneak wearing a plate armor, he will suffer a +1 adjustment to the die, just like everybody else. The humans return to their ancestral homeland, into this fjord, to the town of Narvik, or city of Narvik, from the old world. So that's the reason why the humans are here. They are returning to their ancestral homeland, and they are here to reclaim it, to re-explore it, and take it back from the savages and monsters and other creatures that have occupied it or are still occupying it. And they arrive in Narvik. The sea south of Thule is still full of melting icebergs, but one fjord was much less affected by this, and therefore the sheltered end of the fjord became the landing point for the first returning Thulians. Norvik is growing quickly because of the returning Thulians. They come from the old world, and therefore the Game Master will adjust the population every month. Yes, and some infrastructure has been built, some industry and so forth. And Gerhard the Great, the leader of the Thulian League, knows that an expansion northwards is necessary, because the Thulians keep pouring in from the old world. His scouts have returned with information that the mountain range enclosing all the known realms has passes free from ice. The path to the rest of Thule is open. The returning Thulians are therefore supposed to explore the wild north, the unexplored areas of their ancestral homeland, which has been dramatically changed by the glaciers and time, and to clear the land for monsters and maybe carve out their own kingdoms there, which will be the topic of the expert rules. These are only the basic rules. And there you have the motivation for the humans. Explore, claim the land and take it back, because it is your ancestral homeland after all. The generic humans are listed in the creatures section, and you have all sorts of different types. I will not describe the equipment of everyone, but you get a brief overlook here. Let me see. And then you have their stats in one big block, so it's readily available. Humans can also come in form of leaders and chiefs with some modified. You just modify the basic stats. You also have a group called savages. The savages are primitive humans dressed in animal hides and furs, wearing simple loincloths and cloaks adorned with bones, feathers and other colourful decorations. They wield primitive short spears and use small shields covered in hides and richly decorated with crude images and carvings. They are dark-skinned with brown or black eyes and black hair. They often have tattoos and piercings and use these to show rank, achievements or tribal affiliation. They live in mud huts or tents in small tribes led by a chieftain and practice primitive and often revolting rituals involving ecstatic dancing, torture of captives and human sacrifice or even cannibalism. They believe in evil spirits but hold no power over them and are to a large degree under the influence of Bolthorn. They are hunter-gatherers. I can actually add that Bolthorn is an Atin deity. They are hunter-gatherers foraging for food and hunting wild animals. In Thule, they live in open terrain, preferably in plains, because they fear the forest and the mountains. They came to Thule by crossing the ice-covered sea during the Ice Age, thousands of years ago, but are currently landlocked. They have no technology to build ships that can take them back whence they came to their foreign lands in the distant west. There will be other human races in the expert rules, not playable races, but you have commission merchants and RB pirates and such, which are all very similar to the savages, really. So there will be some more different foes to encounter, human foes, in addition to the ones in this basic set. The Game Master and players naturally have to decide themselves how are they going to relate to the different other species or races already there. Are they going to relate to the elves, who have always lived there in the past alongside the humans? Same with the dwarves and the halflings as well. And then you also have the savages, who technically are human beings, and all sorts of other creatures. But when it comes to human beings, the only humans would be the Thulians, and savages are technically defined as demi-humans here. So there you have it. Pretty much everything, or most, that we can say about humans in ReconQuest. Thank you for watching.